Hi, I'm Hedrick Smith. If you're one of those millions of American voters who suspects that politicians are rigging elections, you're right. But you probably don't know how they do it. So let's take a look at Ohio. Ohio is important because it's a bellwether state. As Ohio goes, so goes the nation. You won't believe it, but in the last 14 presidential elections, it's voted for the winner every time. Democrat, Republican, it doesn't matter. They go for Bill Clinton, and then they go for George Bush. They go for Barack Obama, and then Donald Trump. So they swing, but something goes haywire in Ohio when it comes to congressional elections. You don't see that same thing. You don't see the way the voters line up. 59% of the people in Ohio are independents, 25% are Republicans, and only 16% are Democrats. But when it comes to Congress, Republicans get 3/4 of the seats. They get 12 seats to 4 for the Democrats in election after election. How do they do it? Republican legislature back in 2011 gerrymandered the maps. They manipulated the maps. So they crammed all the Democrats in a few districts around Cleveland and Toledo and Columbus. And they spread out the Republicans so they would win a big, big majority of the districts, way beyond their percentage of the vote. Ohio's not the only state, of course, that does gerrymandering. I mean, all around the Middle West, Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Pennsylvania, go down to Virginia, North Carolina, Florida, Texas. I mean, there are lots of big states that do it. And it's also not just Republicans who do gerrymandering. Democrats do it too. They do it in Massachusetts, they do it in Maryland, they do it in Illinois. So both parties do it. This is an old game. Politicians rigging elections to keep themselves in power by the way they draw the district maps. Finally, people got upset about this. Not just Democrats, but ordinary people. Voters said, this isn't fair. This is not a level playing field. So the League of Women Voters, Common Cause, a bunch of other civic groups got together and said, let's form Fair Districts Ohio. And they started gathering signatures to put the issue on the ballot, put it to the voters in the November 2018 election. Well, suddenly, when they got 180,000 plus signatures, the politicians panicked and said, hey, we got to get on that bandwagon. They came up with their own reform, not as drastic, but it forced a bipartisan solution so one party cannot dictate the maps. That's the big thing, not having one party dictate the maps to keep itself in power. The voters said, good idea. They voted in early May, 3-1 in favor of gerrymander reform. Now, in 2021, the way the maps are drawn in Ohio is going to be very, very different. Is that a model for other states? You better believe it. Already in Michigan, in Missouri, in Colorado, other states like that, there are similar reform movements. People power taking back our democracy. That's what's going on.